Alright, in this video I'm going to show you 3 swarms that I caught last weekend, only one of which was easy. The other 2 were major pains in the butt. Check it out. Alright, just to make my life a little harder, the swarm here is on the outside of the trap. I think it just landed that day because there was no comb built underneath. So what I'm trying to do here is get the bees in a nuke box and then pull down the trap and see if I can get the rest of them. Now I'm sweeping some out and putting them on a frame and dumping them in the box, but you'll see there's a number of bees accumulating on the front of the hive that are coming back to that location. Alright, here I'm checking them out, and I'm going to come back and start smoking them in as best I can. In the end, there was still 100 bees left on the new box after I pulled it down. Not my most perfect. It was earlier in the day. It would have been much better later in the day. Maybe they would have marched into the trap on their own. I think, like I said, that trap was just caught bees that day. The guy who I keep this trap at his house, he's an hour away, so once I was there, I was committed. So in the end, I pulled this trap down, sealed it up, got all the bees in there, and then I hung a new trap. There was about 200, maybe 300 bees on the new trap, and I left it up there. The homeowner said they all crawled in that night, so should be good. Hopefully it'll catch one more time. I've already caught another one at this location. So this swarm isn't the coolest because it's one of mine probably, because my hives are just on the other side of that stream. But swarm's a swarm. So I'm taking out all but a couple of get up underneath it, and there we are. I'll leave it out for a second. Get these frames in here. Now, since the hive they came out of is right there, we just got to make sure I have the queen. So I'm going to actually sweep that little bit. See if I can't get that little bit. Cover this up mostly. I'll smell it. Is my gate open? I'll close that gate. Grab that. Yeah, let me just use the lid. Oh, missed a little. If I go like this, they'll find their way in. Open up the gate. Give that a minute. I got my screwdriver here. about it. Now the beauty of swarms are that most of them are in a resting position, so they ain't gonna go far. They ain't gathering, they're not in a foraging mode. They might be looking for a spot, and I do have a swarm trap on the other side of the stream, and it was getting a lot of action this morning, and I brought stuff to take it down and freshen it up, and I kind of messed with them because there was about 10 bees there when I took it down to check. I didn't know whether it had a swarm or scouts, so maybe that was these guys. But that should be good. Just give that a few minutes for them to go in. They're crawling in. That's it. Nice and easy lemon squeezy.
Good.
Yeah, 2 of them looked like they had swarmed. Last week I did a really poor job of my checks. You know, I was in a rush and stuff. That's what you pay for it.
Well, at least we got them back.
Yeah. Well, this is probably a virgin swarm because it looked like they had, you know, sometimes they might throw 6 swarms in a row.
Wow.
It gets weird. So this might be a secondary swarm because it's kind of small.
Yeah. Like that, I sent you that picture from that other...
yeah, that was a huge one.
That was huge.
I got 3 this weekend, if you count this one.
Wow.
And probably more. I have traps out that I don't check too often. Yeah, see, they're fanning by the entrance, so they're going in. The idea is we want the majority to go in, but the loose ones, because we're right next to the
They'll
hive,
go back.
They'll go back, as long as there's a queen in there, virgin or not.
So you will put these back over there?
No.
No?
No, there's probably a virgin queen. I'll keep it like a nuke at my house.
Okay.
I'll probably put a frame of brood in there, and that frame of brood will anchor them to here. Otherwise, they still might be flighty, you know.
Okay.
I'm going home after this, so they won't.
How's everyone looking over here?
Well, 2 of them have no signs of a laying queen, and that was probably one of these, you know, just got out of hand, I guess. But they were super populous, and they didn't take too much honey, so it wasn't a big swarm. If it, you know, like so. A lot of times they'll take everything. Okay, so if you see that swarm right there, and if we go down here, here is all right, here is the landing zone right here. And if we go up, swarm is up in that tree. So I'm going to film this. I do have a telescoping pole, first time trying. All right, I ran out of battery at a certain point, and let me tell you, this one ended up being crazy. I kept trying to bring bees down. I brought another swarm trap and put it out, hoping they'd march into that one. And then I left them, said, oh, I'll come back in the evening. The queen's probably there. She'll go in. And I waited, and I'm at home, and it starts pouring rain. I'm about 15 minutes away from this location. And I'm like, oh no, they're getting rained on. They were all hanging out on the fronts of 2 hives. And I went back, and it was pouring rain, and I had to deal with it in the rain. I didn't think I'd have anything to salvage. They are in a box, and I always, as a matter of course, give them a week to see whether there's a queen in there or not. So I haven't done anything. I did add 2 frames of brood with eggs. So if there wasn't a queen, they could start making a new one, and I'll find out on that next week. I've been feeding them as well because it was a ton of bees. I'd say 25,000 bees total in that swarm. So there might be multiple virgin queens in there. You never know. I'm gonna play it by ear and see what happens. They're in a double deep. Maybe they don't need it anymore, but at the time, before so many died in the wet transport, the double deep seemed like a smart idea. So I brought them home, and 1 week I'll give you an update and see how they're doing, see if there's a queen and if she's laying. If there is a queen, of course, that means that somewhere in those hives there will be eggs. Because right now, if I wait a week, everything that I put in there with the eggs and larvae that I put in there will be capped, and anything that's not capped is new and fresh from a queen. So we will see where we're at. And we'll also be able to see, based on their agitation, whether there's a queen in there. If you haven't already, please like this video and subscribe.